Screen Park Unlimited.
This is episode 19 of the Ghost Stories. So in these episodes, the two stories we're going to read are in Devon. So the first story is called Widdecombe in the Moor. We've already seen what the devil did to Widdecombe Church, but this small moorland village made well famous by folk song about its fair has also been troubled by other ghosts. The old inn is haunted by a ghost called Harry, who occasionally in mid-afternoon walks from the kitchen into a room that has no exit, only solid stone walls, and disappears. He has been seen many times, but unlike the standard see-through, almost wimpish apparition, Harry has a very solid real look about him. He doesn't scare people because he is so lifelike. The sounds of a sobbing child has also been heard in an upstairs bedroom within the same inn. She cries for endless hours, but when the door is open, the tears subside, and there is nobody there. On his tours of the West Country, the Weaved Sabon Bearing Gold unearthed many folk songs and ballads, but the one about Widdecombe Fair is the best known. From the words of the song, we learn that when the wind whistles cold and the moor of a night, Tom Pierce, grey mare, doth appear ghostly white. It would be hard to find an animal that had better cause to reappear as a ghost than this poor creature. Just imagine the scene when 7 hulking great country boys living long ago in a band of countryside almost 20 long moorland miles to the north of Widdecombe all decided to have a day out at this moorland fair. On the outward journey, they quite sensibly took turns to ride the old grey mare they had borrowed from Tom Pierce, but having sampled too much of the strong heady cider on offer, they were so drunk at the end of the day that for the homeward journey they all clambered on board the poor old horse. Quite clearly, the poor horse couldn't take the strain. She collapsed and died soon after leaving Widdecombe. Now, from time to time, the rattling of her bones are heard in the vicinity. The worthless characters who, with their drunken frolicking, caused her permanent demise, have all been named in the song, but the old grey mare remains anonymous. And the next ghost story is called A Fair Way to Go. In the early 19th century, fairs were mainly agricultural meets and were important features on the Mormon's calendar. Brent Fair was one such event, not to be missed. A farmer who lived at Robin Hill, or Round Hill, on the road from Two Bridges to Princetown, was determined to have a good day out and do a bit of business as well. Some versions of this story tale suggest he sold his old horse to the gypsies for a song, got completely drunk and then brought back the same horse for a much higher amount. Other versions just say he was cheated on a deal. Either way, he was obviously very unhappy with the outcome. Meanwhile, waiting back at home, his wife heard the unmistakable sounds of his horse plodding into the stable. She waited a few minutes, and then, as he did not appear, she lit a lantern and went out to see what was keeping him. Outside there was no sign of life. No horse and no husband. The bewildered lady had to wait until the following day to learn that it definitely could not have been her husband she heard returning home. He had hanged himself from a tree near Cumstone Tor at a point on the road from Holland to Hexworthy. This was about 4 miles short of home. After that, the place was also referred to as Hangman's Pit. So that's the end of the ghost story. So it's time to say cue those credits. Goodbye.